What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a long time since I've uploaded on this video. I took a pretty long break from uploading on this YouTube channel. I have been uploading on a different film channel if you're interested in short films and things of that nature. I'll link that below, but now we're talking about wrestling again. Because, ladies and gentlemen, it is once again WrestleMania season. And if you haven't noticed, there's a lot to talk about. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, tap that little bell for notifications, because I will be back every single week on this channel with a brand new video. We're back in it, and we're in it for the long haul this time, guys. So give me a subscribe if you haven't already. But in today's video, I am going to be talking about how I would book the WrestleMania 42 card. This is not going to be super fantasy booking kind of video. I'm doing it based on where we are right now in WWE. As of the recording of this video, we're like a week away from Elimination Chamber. So I didn't have many options here. I think we can all agree that WWE is kind of shit in the bed here. As you all probably have heard and have been keeping up with the news and everything, WWE's freaking out because of ticket prices and or ticket sales, not realizing that ticket prices are the problem, and instead are flip-flopping the WrestleMania card all over the place and creating quite the disaster for themselves. And the first thing I want to talk about when reconfiguring this WrestleMania and what WrestleMania should be is the main problem WWE found themselves in, which is the fact that we don't really have anything for a night one main event of WrestleMania. Obviously, we have the already announced match between CM Punk and Roman Reigns, the night two main event for the World Heavyweight Championship. We shouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. That's perfect. But if we look at night one, what do we have? On the WWE Championship side of things, if you would have asked me just a couple of weeks ago, I would have said the best move forward was to have Cody Rhodes win the WWE Championship back at Elimination Chamber, have Randy Orton win the Elimination Chamber, and we do Cody versus Orton as the main event of night one. However, Cody Rhodes has since qualified for the Elimination Chamber match, putting that distinctly off the table. I mean, you could find a way to get Cody to win the title back before WrestleMania and still have Orton win the Chamber, but that at this point would just be a pull of monumental proportions, and we can't be doing that. But with that said, I would say, hey, with Cody not being the WWE Champion, you could take advantage and give the women a main event spot this year. But that's when we run into another problem. Because what do we have for the women's side of things right now? You have Stephanie Vaquer probably ending up facing Liv Morgan for the Women's World Championship, which is a fantastic match, and a match that I think is amazing, but it's not necessarily something I think would be a WrestleMania closer. Even if you add Raquel Rodriguez to it, make it a triple threat, I don't think the story really constitutes a WrestleMania closer spot. And if you look on the SmackDown side of things, it's even worse. Because Jade Cargill has no competition, and I mean zero competition. Bianca Belair just got finger surgery, I think literally yesterday as of the recording of this video, so I don't think there's any chance she returns before WrestleMania. So that match is off the table. And seriously, what other match slash feud slash story could Jade Cargill have at this point in time that would constitute a main event spot? I mean, you could maybe put the women's tag team championships in the main event and do something like WrestleMania 39 with the tag titles in the main event of night one. But I mean, if you think about the star power that would require, I think the only match you could really do is maybe like Rhea and Io versus Charlotte and Alexa. But that's a match they already threw away on Monday Night Raw. So what on earth do we do? WWE has depleted all of their options for a viable night one main event of WrestleMania. And it's honestly kind of disappointing. But that's why I'm here, because I am here to book the perfect WrestleMania card based on what we already have. As much as I would love to just nuke everything WWE's been doing and start fresh, If we're acting on a realistic timeline, that's not really something that would make things better at this point. So I'm going to work with what the dog shit Triple H handed me, and we are going to create the best Mania card we can out of it. I will be doing this in order, just to kind of give you an idea of what I think the layout of WrestleMania should be. So let's get right into it. The first match, the opening match of WrestleMania weekend, is a match we've already talked about. I have Liv Morgan versus Stephanie Vaquer for the Women's World Championship. I love the idea of opening WrestleMania with a bang, and nothing would do that better than this match. I think everybody knows this match would utterly cook. This match would be fantastic, probably will be fantastic. Now, you could add Raquel Rodriguez, make it a triple threat match. I didn't do that for a multitude of reasons, as we'll get to later in the video. But the other reason that I can get into right now is I think it would make a huge WrestleMania moment to open the show with maybe Raquel turning on Liv during or after the match. Maybe Liv Morgan wins the Women's World Championship to open WrestleMania, and Raquel turns on her. Then we have a huge storyline coming out of WrestleMania and to go into Backlash with, which I think is the better option. Up next, the second match on night one, I have the Americano versus Americano match. I think it's honestly very telling right now that the Americano feud might be the most entertaining thing going on in WWE right now, and I think it does warrant a WrestleMania spot. Not to mention, if you look at the guys under the mask, if we rip kayfabe out the window for a little bit, we have Chad Gable and Ludwig Kaiser. If WWE would just let these two cook in the ring and put on a spectacle of a match, we would be eating good. That's really all I have to say about that match. Third on the card is Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship. And I swear to God, if WWE does not deliver this match, I'm going to flip out. If you guys go back all the way a year ago when I made my WrestleMania match card predictions, a year ago at this time, I predicted Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship. That's how long WWE has been teasing us with this. And we don't need to push it on any further. This match needs to happen, and it needs to happen at WrestleMania. No ifs, no ands, no buts. Book the goddamn match. For the fourth match on night one, I have placed the women's tag team champions here. We have Rhea Ripley and Io Sky versus Nikki and Brie, the Bella Twins. I mean, the Bella Twins are back. Obviously, them winning the tag team titles at WrestleMania is probably something WWE would be interested in doing. I don't think they're going to leave the Bella Twins off the Mania card, and you need a star power-filled match, and I think this does that. Next up, we have Gunther versus Rey Mysterio in Rey Mysterio's retirement match. Now, I know everybody wants Dominic Mysterio to retire Rey, but at this point, there's nothing else for Gunther to do. Plus, Rey is really at the end of his leash here. I think this would be a great WrestleMania moment to have Gunther retire somebody at WrestleMania, and a legend like Rey Mysterio, I think it would make this career killer gimmick only grow. I think this is the perfect place for Gunther if he's not in some kind of world title program, which I don't think he will be at this point. And now we have the semi-main event of night one. Now look, I'm going to be straight up and say, I don't like this. I don't think it's a great idea. I'm just thinking from WWE's perspective. Because if we look at this, we were heading straight for Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker. Seth was injured. We didn't know when he was going to come back. And now Braun Breaker is injured, and it looks like he's going to miss WrestleMania. This match has literally been cursed. So considering we're not going to get Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins, and considering Seth Rollins is cleared for the show, you can't have him not wrestle. But if he's not doing something with the vision, there's really no sense in it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have booked a tag team match. Seth Rollins and LA Knight versus Bronson Reed and Logan Paul of the Vision. Again, I don't think this is the most appetizing match in the world. I just couldn't think of anything else to do with Seth Rollins. Plus, if you look at it from this perspective, it gets Seth Rollins on the card. It gets LA Knight on the card, who's a fan favorite. And it gets The Vision on the card. And The Vision has just been the single biggest act on Raw this entire year. You can't have them not on the card. You have to pay off this storyline at WrestleMania somehow, and if Braun Breaker isn't there to do it, I think this is the next best bet. Again, I don't love it, but here we are. Now we get to the main event of night one, and based on what I said earlier, I'm sure you're all wondering, Kyle, what did you pick for the night one main event? Well, the night one main event is going to be for the WWE Championship. I just added a little more star power to it. Now I could have done Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes, the looming singles match for the 4th time, but who really wants to see that? I could have done the triple threat they've been teasing between Drew McIntyre, Jacob Fatu, and Cody Rhodes, but that wasn't enough for me. Ladies and gentlemen, the match I selected to close night one of WrestleMania is Drew McIntyre defending the WWE Championship against Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Jacob Fatu in a fatal 4-way match. Honestly, I think adding Randy Orton to this adds a new storytelling layer that can make this match a hell of a lot more interesting. Because if we go with the standard triple threat that WWE's been trying to book, all we're going to get until WrestleMania is segments of these three beating the hell out of each other. And we've already seen that 100 times. You add Randy Orton in it, you add so much to this story. The fact that Randy Orton wants to become WWE champion again. You have the Cody and Randy kind of story going on in this match. Randy and Drew have a tremendous amount of history. And you can even pull in the Jacob Fatu attack storyline and be like, one of these three guys attacked him. Which one was it? You could add so many interesting layers to this story when you add Randy Orton, and I think that in itself could make it a WrestleMania-worthy main event. Anyway, on to night two. Now look, am I leaping with this one? Maybe a little bit. But WWE has nothing lined up for the Raw Tag Team division. It's a blank slate, so why not? To open night two, I have the Usos defending the World Tag Team titles against the Lucha Bros. Get those two together, reunite the Lucha Bros, and give us this dream match at WrestleMania WWE. It's the least you can do at this point. If you truly think the card is the problem and you want to make a great WrestleMania card, why would you not book this instant classic of a dream match? And it's not that big of a pull. It doesn't take that much to connect these two together. We already got the teasing return of the Lucha Bros in AAA before Penta got injured. All you really have to do is one segment where, Rey Fenix comes to Monday Night Raw, the Lucha Bros come together, and they win a number one contenders match. It's not that hard to do. So just do it. WWE won't do this, by the way. That's just my disclaimer, but I think it would be really, really cool. The next match on the card is for the United States Championship. We have Carmelo Hayes defending against Trick Williams. Now look, Melo has been doing a great job with the US Open challenges. I know people want to see kind of like a US title ladder match kind of thing at WrestleMania. I honestly don't. I think Melo needs a legitimate storyline here. And who better than with someone he has significant history with in Trick Williams? Not to mention a guy who WWE has been doing a great job of pushing since he came up from the main roster. From NXT, excuse me. Just book this match. You can't go wrong. The third match I have on the card is a match that I think everyone can see coming. I have AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Now, this match is already booked for the Elimination Chamber, but I don't think WWE would take this off the Mania card. I think WrestleMania will be the blow-off match. First of all, I think AJ Lee will win the title in Chicago, and I think probably she will drop it back to Becky Lynch at WrestleMania in some kind of big stipulation match. Me personally, I would go with a last woman standing match, but you could do any big stipulation you want for this match. On to the next. Next up, we have Jade Cargill. Now, what did I do with Jade Cargill and the WWE Women's Championship? A lot of you guys may be like, what? What the heck? Where did this come from? Just hear me out. I have Jade Cargill defending the WWE Women's Championship against Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Now look, I took a similar approach to the main event of night one with this. I wanted to add an intriguing story. And you could do Jade Cargill versus Charlotte Flair. That would be a star-studded match. There isn't a lot of story to tell there. You could tell a story of, Alexa Bliss, who's someone who is currently qualified for the Elimination Chamber match. Charlotte Flair also qualifies. And you could have it be like, Alexa really wanting an opportunity, but Charlotte Flair being like, I'm Charlotte Flair, I always get the title matches at WrestleMania. Maybe have Alexa Bliss win the Women's Elimination Chamber, and then Charlotte, being Charlotte, just gets a Women's Championship match whenever she pleases, tries to undermine Alexa, and get in the Women's Championship match. Now you have that interesting dynamic getting in there. And you have Jade, who's just having none of it, who just wants to destroy two of the top stars in this division and prove her dominance. I think it would be a great story, and it's also the reason I didn't do the triple threat with the women's world title match, because I think it made more sense to do it here. I think this is a great way to make a very compelling story going into WrestleMania for Jade Cargill, because I don't see her having that in just a one-on-one feud. I think she definitely needs help. The next match, I fear WWE may not book. It seems like they're not going in that direction, and I swear to God, this is the easiest layup WWE could ever do. Just do it. Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar. Just do it. It's not that hard. People are already pissed that Brock Lesnar's back. You want them to be less pissed? Give us this match. Don't do Brock versus LA Knight. I love LA Knight, but nobody wants to see that match. WWE, it's right there. Just do it. Now, this is where things get interesting. I have a singles match between Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. Hear me out. This is a match that belongs at WrestleMania. And yes, they just defended their women's tag team titles on night one. But I could see WWE doing something like a story where Rhea's like, you know what? I still never beat Io one-on-one. We need to prove who the best is, and I need that opportunity. That was ruined at Evolution when Naomi cashed in. So Rhea challenges Io to a mega match at WrestleMania. Adam Pearce says, you know what? I love it. It's a great match, but you guys need to defend the women's tag team titles at WrestleMania. And both Rhea and Io say, you know what? Screw it. Let's do both. These are two stars that very much would want to pull double duty at WrestleMania. And if you have these two lose the titles on night one, now it adds a bit of animosity going into the night two match. I think it would just be fantastic. It would be a fantastic use of these two women. And I think it would be a fantastic little trope to have the tag team champions pulling double duty at WrestleMania, given the star power that they both have. And of course, we have rounding out the card with the main event of night two, the already announced CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. Well, that's what I would do to WrestleMania, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I will see you in the next video.